Jersey Shorts, episode 5. This is episode 5, right? So great things have happened in the world of basketball, the realm of basketball. And back with us again is the ever so not so filtered Epic. What's up, bro?
I'm
It's
happy
good
to
to
be
have you
back,
back.
man. Yeah, I'm happy to be back. I'm just upset that the four of us can't commit to a certain time to all be together. So I'm really
Yeah, yeah.
hoping all four
We'll
of us
get
can be
there.
complete next time. Yeah.
We'll get there somehow. Of course, as you can see, there are only 3 guys on your screen right
Again.
now. Again, just like
Again,
last
yeah.
week and the previous episodes, episode 3, 4, we only had 3 guys. Miguel isn't with us right now. He had to do something personal. So hopefully next week, all 4 of us will be able to record an episode just like the first 2 episodes, where we're all together. And so let's kick things off right away with the biggest. I think this is the biggest news for basketball so far this summer. Um, 4 Hall of Famers or four legendary players have been inducted into the Hall of Fame. That is Dirk Nowitzki from the Dallas Mavericks, Tony Parker from the Spurs, Pau Gasol from the Lakers, Grizzlies, Spurs. He was through a
Yeah.
lot, and of course Dwyane Wade, who's most known for being with the Miami Heat. We do not recognize his Chicago Bulls and Cleveland days because
That
that's
is
Especially
that's an
true.
Cleveland.
anomaly.
Yeah,
Especially
that
That's
is
an
Cleveland.
true.
anomaly.
Yeah.
So great things, man. And I think we all grew up watching these guys. These 4 guys. Also, props to Coach Popovich for being inducted into the Hall of Fame, even though he's not retired from basketball yet. So
Yeah.
congratulations to those guys. And so to kick things off, I just want to ask, how has Wade, Dirk, Powell, and Tony Parker uh, impacted the NBA in your own kind of like terms or point of view? So Epic, since you're back from
Yeah.
I had a
missing an
feeling. I had a
episode,
feeling.
Yeah.
you go
He's got a lot to
first.
say for sure.
Yeah,
Oh
yeah, yeah,
man,
he
no.
does.
Honestly, I did miss being on the pod. So I'm gonna make it worth your while. How did these guys impact basketball? At least in my perspective. For me, I really grew up mostly watching Wade, Dirk, and Pau. Not so much Tony Parker because I wasn't really a big Spurs fan. But the way they impact me, especially Dwayne Wade. I remember being a kid back in '06. Like this was the time when I was still idolizing Allen Iverson, but at the same time, I was just trying to figure out, okay, who are the other great players aside from like Iverson and stuff? And like Dwayne Wade was one of those guys. He was quick, he was fast, he was strong, he had a great mid-range game, and at such a young age, he already achieved a lot with the Miami Heat.
Yeah,
Yeah, sure, people can say that Shaquille O'Neal helped him out, but in reality, it was really Dwayne Wade who did
Yeah.
most of the heavy lifting. So you cannot disregard that fact at the end of the day. Like Dwayne Wade, especially when Pat Riley said that he's the best Heat player ever. I completely agree, man. It's not even LeBron. It's not even LeBron. Yeah, sure, LeBron, arguably the GOAT. Juan does not agree with that, but yeah,
I
arguably the GOAT.
don't.
No, he's not a goat, man. Well,
But yeah, even if James is arguably the GOAT, he's
all
not
right.
necessarily the best Heat player at all. Because okay, sure, he won 2 titles, but as a James fan, I do admit that he kind of did need Wade. So without Wade, I
Yeah,
don't think James would have won
So,
those championships, and that's coming from a super fan. You know what I mean? As for like Dirk, Dirk was to me he's literally like aside from Kobe, he's literally a walking loyalty. You know what I mean? Like
yeah.
he definitely defines, he lives and breathes the word loyalty. Stuck with the team with the Mavericks, never opted to look for other superstars to join forces with them. He never asked for a trade. Yeah, superstars did join him eventually, but he never really requested for them either. So you know what I mean? He did things the right way. He did things his own way, and he was able, after so many years of waiting, he was also part of the 2006 NBA Finals. So that
Yeah,
alone was
yeah.
already a historic feat. Honestly, that was already a NBA Hall of Fame achievement. But eventually, he was able to put the nail in the coffin and finally win it in 2011, 2012, twenty
Yeah.
eleven, right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
Who did
2011.
2011. Yeah, that
who did
was
he
So
beat? Who did he
yeah,
beat?
LeBron James. I get it, bro. You can shut up now. Not kidding. But yeah, so
yeah.
Dirk Nowitzki is definitely one of my idols as well because he literally proved to everyone that you do not need a super team in order to win. That's the difference between him and Kobe. I'm not trying to throw shade at Kobe. Kobe stayed loyal to. He's one of the greats, that's for sure. But he still kind of needed stars. His first three runs, he had Shaq. His next two runs, he had one of the Hall of Famers, Pau Gasol. He had
Yeah.
people like Andrew Bynum, who was also an All Star for a time. So you know
For a
what I mean. Unlike
season,
Dirk,
yeah.
yeah, for a season, but unlike Dirk had a lot of old heads. Jason Terry, Jason Kidd.
Jason
I mean,
Kidd.
come on, man, right? You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So yeah, as for Tony Parker, well, like I said, I can't really say much. But yeah, these guys definitely, you know, they've impacted myself as a kid growing up playing basketball. At least I had a lot of you know, different perspectives to look into, like how to stay loyal and work hard as a player. And at the same time, Wade was the type of player who kind of pushed me to my limit because I wanted to achieve the same quickness that he had, the same tenacity that he had, you know what I mean? So yeah, that's really all from me.
That's well, very, very well thought of answer. What about you, Juan? These four players, how have they impacted the league or you in general?
All right. Uh, these four players, arguably, well, I think Wade and Dirk is part of the 75, and Pau and Tony Parker, I think, I don't know if should have been, but they had a, if people put them in the top 75, it's all right because that's how good or how great Pau and Tony Parker were. So I'll probably talk about those two more since ETL already talked about Wade and Dirk, and really great points on both legends. I think their careers are intertwined for what happened in 2006 and 2011, and they have this very good banter in the past. Leading up to the Hall of Fame. There's these comments between the two, and which is great. It's nostalgic. So in terms of impact, these two are two of the greatest players ever. Wade is the greatest hit ever. Dirk is the greatest Mav ever. And for Wade, he's the third greatest shooting guard as discussed last week. As for Dirk, he's probably up there for the greatest international player of all time. So, that's their impact. And if there was no Dirk, we wouldn't have, jump shooting big men. 'Cause
That's true.
he's
Yeah.
not the one who was the first one to do it, but he was the first one who consistently did it. He's
Yeah,
basically the first stretch for not just mid range but from beyond the arc. As for Pau and you know Tony Parker, for Pau, he's not as you know great as Dirk in terms of accomplishments because Dirk won an MVP and Pau was just the secondary role player for Kobe during that Lakers championship run, '09 and 2010. But I think Pau has more impact for what he did internationally with Spain because basically he carried that Spain team as the second best team in the world, against a star-studded American team. I mean, his Spain roster had the likes of just Juan Carlos Navarro,
his brother Sergio
yeah, Marc
Lul.
Gasol, Garbajosa, those people, Ricky Rubio, and they accomplished a lot internationally. So I think if you look at his international accomplishments and his NBA accomplishments, I think they are on par with each other, right? So I think
Yeah,
that's what would be Pau Gasol's impact overall. For Tony Parker, I mean, yeah, I'm not really a big Spurs fan. I think I don't know if there's a lot of Spurs fans here in the Philippines, but Tony Parker has 4 rings. He's probably
Yeah,
an underrated great point guard because he's not he's not known for his playmaking. He's not known for his
Yeah.
scoring. He's just an overall solid guy. But
Yeah.
in terms of impact in on the court, I think what makes Tony very very good is the way he played. I think him and Manu when they are driving the ball, I think they're one of the two best inside scoring guards ever because they're not really when Tony Parker is not really a great shooter, so he has to take the ball to the rack, and he was really successful. He was taking floaters, and the way he protect the
his
ball
spin,
when
his deadly spin
yeah,
move.
I think that Tony Parker influenced some of these young guys who play attack the rim, undersized guys. Because if you're an undersized and you're
Yeah.
not a shooter like, someone like Steph, you have to pattern it to other players, maybe such as a Tony Parker. It's simple. You just take floaters, for driving, protecting the ball. I think that's what makes them great. Him and Ginobili, they if you look at how they attack the ring, they kind of hug the ball so that when they it doesn't get swiped,
Yeah.
and basically laid it up. I mean, I don't know if Kyrie he got it from him, but the way Kyrie moves is in terms of how he protects the ball while driving, it reminds me of someone like Tony Parker,
Tony
right?
Parker.
Yeah,
Yeah.
So that for me his probably most is impactful thing because his winning could be tied up with Tim Duncan Pop, right? So you
Yeah.
have to separate what makes him different from Pop, Tim, and for international, I think he's not as doesn't have that accomplishments, just
yeah,
like Pau, right? So, but I think they are rivals in terms of Spain versus France, right? So
Yeah.
Uh, in terms of impact internationally, yeah, he's gonna have impact internationally. French kids, maybe. Well, Wemby was probably influenced by Tony Parker, right? So young point guards are gonna French guards, they're gonna look up to him because he's a winner.
yeah. They will.
So
So, for me, I won't talk much about Dwayne Wade since
yeah,
he's been the topic since like the past two episodes, and
Yeah.
we've lauded him as like one of the greatest shooting guards, better than Harden, better than Paul Pierce. We've settled that debate once and for all, and so props, congratulations to Mr. Wade for being inducted into the Hall of Fame. But I'd like to touch more on the impact of these foreign players. So for Pau and Dirk, they were labeled all throughout their careers. They were labeled as soft guys. Players who can't like because of like their play style. You know, they're labeled
Mm-hmm.
as soft. They can't guard. They can't defend. All they do is just settle in the perimeter and shoot. And they've that type of play style impacted the league because looking at how the game is played right now, you've got big men, European big men, the two-time MVP, you know, shooting threes, stretching the defenses, passing the rock. I mean, Powell was an
oh yeah,
underrated big
passing,
man
yeah, for Pau.
Yeah.
passer,
Yeah.
and Dirk, his one-legged fadeaway, his post-up game, and his face-up game, he could stretch the floor, and he was very his stint with the Dallas Mavericks very significant, and I think we can all agree that he's probably one of the best power forwards, if not better than kind of like I think
It's top five.
he's yeah top
Top
five,
five.
top
Yeah,
three.
Yeah.
it's
I
probably
think
For
top five.
sure. Top
I'd
five
I'd
for
put him
sure.
top three, so I'd go
That's
top three.
debatable, but yeah,
So yeah, debatable,
debatable.
understandable. So those guys they were labeled as soft, but they used that to their advantage in terms of like okay, I'll just if you're making fun of how I'm just shooting jumpers from the perimeter and stuff,
Yeah.
then I'll just make you pay. So that's how they carve their careers. And
Yeah.
looking at the league right now, everyone's shooting mid ranges,
Yeah,
threes from beyond the arc, 7-footer guys. Uh, Joel Embiid, Nikola Vucevic. So those guys, I think they were inspired by how Dirk and Pau played
for
in the
sure.
NBA.
Yeah.
And internationally, of course, they were able to impact. I didn't watch much internationally, so I can't really give a
Much
take on
insight.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So for Tony Parker, since you guys aren't huge Spurs
Miguel isn't
fans. I'm
here.
sorry. Yeah, he was supposed to represent Tony Parker,
Yeah.
Yeah.
but I'll speak on his behalf.
Sure.
Because yeah, yeah. There was. I'm not kidding when with this, but there was a moment in time in my life where I used to play like Tony Parker. I was throwing up floaters over the big
Oh,
guys. I was doing that
interesting.
one-handed layups and I was quick and I didn't realize. I thought I was playing like Steve Nash until I realized that I had zero assists and like I wasn't passing the ball. I was just cutting through the basket and then getting the rock and then just laying it up over the guys, big guys.
Yeah.
And he, I think Tony Parker is very underrated because of his cheating scandal, I guess, with
Oh,
Brent
See.
Barry and Eva
that's
Longoria.
wild.
Yeah. So, but the one thing that we have to take notice is he spoiled. He was the one. He was the first one who spoiled LeBron James's first finals appearance. So
Oh
I'm
yeah,
sorry,
man.
Epic. I have to go
No,
this.
Oh
it's
I have
true.
to
yeah,
I have to
oh
go here.
07. Yeah,
He
It's
was
2007.
true.
he was lab he
Just
was called Le Sweep for a moment because he
Yeah.
swept the
Yeah.
Cavs, and I think Parker was put into like the perfect mix of players management. He was able to shine and like play his brand of basketball. For last year, it was Manu Ginobili, and he was like everyone was like praising him for like, oh, this is uncontrolled chaos.
yeah.
And for Parker, it's kind of like a poetic chaos, because he knew what to do. He knew what it's going to do, but when you watch him play, it looks like he's messy, but he knows what he's doing. you
Yeah.
know. So props to him for being inducted into the Hall of Fame. And so for this next one, um, we're gonna stick exclusively in the NBA because there was a decision, there was a news kind of like update on the James Harden trade.
Yeah.
They are settling. They're holding him back. They're not going to trade him anymore. And I think it's a bad idea to not trade him, but I
Yeah.
understand why they're not trading him because he's
Yeah.
very untradeable at the moment. He's old.
He's
His contract is I don't know,
he's
questionable. I
tradable.
think
The,
he. I mean,
yeah.
internationally maybe
Well,
Shanghai
well,
Sharks knocking on the
well. I mean,
door,
Wow.
I
but
mean, the Clippers want him. Just the
they
Sixers are
do. But
overvaluing him.
yeah, the thing is, Daryl Morey thinks he's like a very smart GM, but
Yeah.
he's really not. Let's get that out of the way. Um, it's a bad move by the Sixers to keep him. I'll just say my
Yeah.
take now, so you can do
Yeah, go
Sure.
for
yours
it, man.
later.
Yeah.
Um, I think uh, it's because of the fact that uh, he hasn't helped Joel Embiid and the Sixers that much since getting traded there.
Yeah.
And he's inconsistent. He's lost a step. He's not as athletic as he was before. So I think it's just a, a bad business decision for the Sixers. What's your take, Juan?
Um, I think I'll counter your. He doesn't have any contribution or small contribution to the Sixers. He made Joel Embiid MVP, man. If you look at it, because Joel Embiid won MVP with him. But
Yeah,
in
that's
terms
true.
of overall value for the Sixers, I mean, if he doesn't want to play there, he's not gonna play there, even though he has a contract and stuff like that.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
yeah,
mean, if Ben Simmons was able to do it and he's not a former MVP,
yeah.
Yeah.
yeah, Harden's a
Plus,
former
plus,
MVP, right?
plus, it's the off season, so you can just stuff burgers
Oh
and
well,
not play.
he's
Here we go again
already
with the
doing that
burgers.
probably. He's already doing that probably, right? So,
Yeah, gotta put on
but
that fat suit.
yeah, but yeah, if I don't really get, well, I get why Moore is holding Harden hostage because they basically traded a lot of. Well, Simmons was if he has value that would have been more valuable if back then. They traded I think several picks for him, and
Mm.
if I was the Sixers or if I was Maury, yeah, why would I just trade him for scraps? How would that help the team moving forward? If I did that trade, Joel Embiid would probably want out now because how the hell would they win a championship with Maxi as his second best player and who's gonna be the third best player? Toby Harris?
Tobias.
I mean, oh, Toby's good, but do you really want him to be your third option, right? So
Yeah,
if so Moore is in a lose-lose situation, right? I mean, if they get Harden, he's probably not playing. If you trade Harden, Embiid's probably following next season. So it's a lose-lose situation for the man. Ben Simmons did a lot to the Sixers. It's Ben's fault, right?
it's Ben's fault. Blame it
Yeah,
on Ben.
yeah. It's. I mean, if you look at it, right? But if Ben didn't, you know, but I mean, well, you could also put the blame on Doc and Joel for throwing Ben under the bus. But
Yeah,
still,
we can.
just trade Harden now and trade Embiid. Just blow it up.
Rebuild.
What about you,
Yeah.
Alex? What's your insight on this one?
Um, to be honest, like the whole Harden saga, you gotta call it a saga at this point. The whole Harden saga is it could go either way, really, because like Juan did make a good point that James Harden could pull Ben Simmons, and technically he did with the Brooklyn Nets when he chose
Yeah, he
not to
did.
play anymore. He stopped playing, and like I think this was during the time when LeBron and KD were the captains of the All Star team. LeBron kind of called out Harden.
Oh
When is he coming back? Is he even gonna play? Stuff
yeah,
like that.
that's inside, and
Yeah.
KD just
So
laughed.
like, you know, he could do the same thing, especially with the type of attitude that James Harden has. He's like a prima donna. He's like Irving. He's like Simmons in that aspect.
It's
But
probably worse.
then
He's
probably
worse.
worse. But I don't know. I mean, to be honest, like, all right, maybe he might reconsider playing because if he's gonna be held hostage anyway, I mean, I think he might as well try to like achieve something with the Sixers. They, in my opinion, at least in my opinion, they were kind of close last season
Yeah,
in the playoffs. They were kind of close. It's just that the MVP, the
yeah, the
MVP
MVP.
wasn't an MVP. You know what I mean? Because
Yeah,
like if Joel Embiid played like an MVP, probably the Eastern Conference, probably the finals. You know what I mean? Probably. So I really can't put it all on Harden. So I am gonna counter Rain as well. I do agree with Juan that Harden has made a lot of contributions. He did make Embiid look good.
Yeah, yeah.
And to be honest, like okay, fine, you can call him inconsistent, but the reality is I think it's only Harden giving way to Embiid. Because like I noticed whenever Embiid is not around, James just all of a sudden
always good.
goes back to his like Houston Rockets form. Scores 40, scores 50, scores 30. You know what I mean? Double double, double double, triple double. He does everything when Embiid's not around and makes everyone look good. Or if not trying to give way to Embiid, he sometimes tries to give Tyrese Maxey an opportunity because he's also a rising
Yeah.
star for the Sixers. But I think Harden is really, he's very much capable of being his former self. It's just that it's dormant at the moment because of like you said, he's kind of old. He's getting old. He's one of the vets in the league, so he's now playing this mentor role for the newer guys, the younger guys. You
Not a
know what I
good
mean?
man though.
So What?
Not a good mentor at all, man.
Not a good mentor,
Oh,
but
yeah, yeah.
that's why I said mentor role. You know
Uh,
what I mean, quote unquote. But yeah, if the Sixers organization could convince Harden, and if Harden will somehow magically like, okay, you know what, I'm gonna be a good team player this time around. I'm gonna like shove my attitude aside and just play the game. If all that happens, I think the Sixers still have a good chance next season. And especially if Embiid does back up being an MVP and stuff. So yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I think I think this is going far from what we're talking about, but the reason why James Harden can't be traded, as Juan stated earlier, is because of Daryl Morey. He wants more, right?
uh,
And if you backtrack a bit, this is all the fault of the Minnesota Timberwolves when they got Rudy Gobert, right? Because when they got
oh
Rudy Gobert,
yeah,
they got like they gave
five.
away a
I think they got
ton.
5 picks. Yeah,
Yeah, they gave the Utah Jazz 5 first rounders, I think, or
yeah,
just
and
random
Walker
picks, I guess.
Kessler. Yeah,
Yeah, Walker Kessler, and I don't know if there were more players in that mix. I forgot the trade details, but that's the reason. Rudy Gobert is, yes, he's a 3-time Defensive Player of the Year, but when it comes to the playoffs, he's really
yeah.
not that
No,
important, right? He's insignificant in the playoffs. So if you trade a guy like that, what would you be asking for if you have a player like James Harden? Okay, so I'll recognize he was a former MVP. He's a 10-time All Star, I guess, or 11-time All Star. I'm not sure. All NBA, scoring leader. He can, get triple doubles, left and right. But the thing is, with even with those accolades, that gets ignored because of the fact that he's in his like decline in
yeah,
his career.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So it's totally. I'm not blaming the Wolves, but if we are to point fingers, they're probably in the mix. So it's a stupid decision to not trade James Harden, but looking at his value right now,
it's an all-time
Maury
low.
should just fold. Maury should
Yeah.
just fold and like, you know what? He's not worth
He's not
five
good for
picks.
business,
Yeah,
basically.
it's not good
Yeah.
for business because if the Clippers want him, obviously, but they know they can't give away a ton of like their assets, because
Yeah.
they have to watch out for themselves as well.
Yeah.
Plus, they're getting an old star, like a 33-year-old veteran.
Yeah.
So it's yeah, they have to understand. The Sixers should understand. Uh, he's been very inconsistent, and he doesn't want to play anymore for the Sixers. There's been like rumors about him, last season of wanting to go back to the Houston Rockets,
Yeah,
but
Yeah.
so I think this is not gonna happen. The trade isn't gonna happen anytime soon, even though I want him gone. Because
Mm-hmm.
if he's gone, then Embiid will be a lone star, and I don't know. I don't know if people want it to happen. I don't know if people want to see how unreliable he is as a star.
I don't think he
Embiid.
can do it
I'm saying,
alone.
yeah,
That's
yeah.
all I'm
That's what
saying. I
I'm.
don't think he can do it alone.
He probably won't. And it's gonna be tough if James is gone. So speaking
Yeah.
of James Harden, uh, Andre Iguodala of
yeah. Go
um
Dubs.
the Dubs. I'm sorry, I forgot his team. It's like, oh, still playing.
Well, no, he's a free
Uh,
agent.
yeah, he's a free agent.
Oh,
I
he
think
is
he
now.
should call it quits.
I
Yeah,
think
I think
I think
he's
he's
retiring.
retiring.
I
I think
think
he's
he is
retiring.
retiring.
Yeah,
yeah, he should soon. So he mentioned the comparison of the play style rather of Luka Doncic and James Harden, the one we talked about earlier.
Yeah.
And looking at it, he has a point. The two of them, they have similar play styles, right? And it's true.
similar
They
similar stats
play
as well.
similar stats as well. They can both grab triple doubles and
Yeah.
whatnot.
I saw.
But the thing is, the reception is different. The reception is different. Harden was hated for it, and Luka is being praised for it.
Can we talk about Luka Doncic real quick? 60.
What was more impressive, 60, 21, and 10, or up 9 with 35 seconds and you lose?
You're right, but 60, 20, and 10 is pretty impressive. I'm not going to lie.
100%.
Is it more impressive than the James Harden 16, 18 game? I guess because it's in less.
No, so here's my issue with that, and it's been spoke about, and I'm siding with James. This has nothing to do with Luka. James got a lot of flack and a lot of hate for the numbers he was putting up
And how you played, yeah.
and how he played. And we got another guy duplicating that, and it's a different type of reception.
No, absolutely. You're absolutely right. Let me just say this, the difference between James and Luka.
Mm-hmm.
Luka is 38, 9, and 8 in game 7. Fly guy James Harden is 7, 7, and 6.
That is very valid, and I'm glad you brought that up.
So Epic, what do you think? Should fans be critical of Luka, or
Some
just
already are.
don't care?
Um,
Yeah.
to be honest with you, like I feel like why people appreciate Luka more than Harden, because the way yeah, sure, we can't deny Harden is probably he's up there as one of the best
Yeah.
shooting guards to ever play,
Yeah.
right? But because of everything that he's done, all the moves that he's done in his career, it kind of put a stain. It kind of tarnished, the image that people have on him. Unlike with Luka, Luka is kind of like a fresh canvas. You know what I mean? So like, he was the rookie who got to play with Dirk in his last season. Now he's the star of the Dallas Mavericks. He's the one carrying the team. So that's why everyone is like, delighted to see like, all right, the Mavericks legacy continues now that Luka Doncic is here, and like you said, they have the same play style. They also have the same capabilities, same figures, essentially the same person, right? Difference is
Yeah.
with Luka. Well, this is based on my own research. I'm not entirely sure if I'm correct, so correct me if I'm wrong. The difference is with Luka, yeah, sure, Luka hasn't exactly found any playoff success yet. Yet. But if we're gonna be talking about like individual performances in the postseason, at least, I think Luka is more locked in compared to James Harden. James Harden in the playoffs, I'm sure both of you know, and you're not gonna deny, he chokes a lot,
Oh, for sure.
a lot. He chokes a
Chokes,
lot
man.
during the playoffs. So I think to me, that's one of the major factors why fans are more critical with Harden, because like look at Luka. Yeah, sure, Luka hasn't found, like I said, hasn't found any playoff success, but
Well, he did.
you can
He did.
see
He did
that.
one. He went to the Western Conference Finals once.
Yeah, once. But when I say playoff success, I probably mean NBA Finals. You know what I mean?
Oh,
So,
yeah, sure.
all right. So to clarify, yeah, he never made it to the NBA Finals. Sure, but you can see that Luka is always locked in and he's ready to fight
Oh.
anytime.
Yeah.
Unlike James Harden, yeah, sure, okay, I'm an MVP, but remember the MVP is a regular season award.
Yeah.
Postseason, shit's different, man. Shit's different in the postseason, and that's something Harden is yet to prove. And he's already in his 30s. You know what I mean?
3, I think.
Yeah, exactly. So, at this point, like, I don't blame fans for wanting not wanting, hating on Harden rather versus Luka.
Okay, Juan, what about you?
I think I have a very good explanation, or probably a good reason why people hate on Harden a lot. He's a foul merchant, man. He's a foul merchant.
Okay,
That's
yeah, he is.
That's one of the reasons I don't like him. I mean, he's going to the basket not to try and do a layup, He's gonna hook people, man. He's just gonna do his freaking stupid freaking move that the referees are gonna call. That's one of the reasons people hate Harden, man. Right? It's
Most of
one
his
of the
points come
reasons.
from the free throws, actually.
Yeah, I mean, I get that it's 2 points, but it slows the game down. It's not pretty. It's not entertaining. It's freaking
Yeah.
boring. So that's why people hate on Harden. I mean, I
Yeah.
don't
Yeah.
blame
Well,
Harden because he's a really great scorer, and scoring two boring free throws is scoring. So, but yeah, that's one of the reasons why he's much hated than Luka. And Luka has his own set of haters now because he's really not great at free throws. He comes into the season out of shape, and I mean, and what else? Uh, them missing the playoffs, they would have some critics, you know, as well.
I blame it on
Then,
Kyrie, honestly.
well, they were winning with Kyrie in terms of Kyrie only. Without Luka, I think they have a winning record, and with
Yeah.
Kyrie and Luka, they have a losing record. So
No, no,
I
no.
wouldn't put
Yeah.
them. I wouldn't put the blame entirely on Kyrie because the Mavs did that to themselves, right? I mean, I acquired Kyrie, so I'm gonna blame Kyrie. That's right.
That's okay. Fair enough.
But for Harden, you can blame Harden, right? Because he's the star
Only Harden.
player, right?
Yeah.
He's a star player. I mean, the difference between Luka and Harden in the playoffs, even though Luka's playoff resume or playoff experience is not that, it's not a lot compared to Harden. But James, when he was with OKC, they went to the finals. He went crazy. I think one game in the finals. Then when he got himself his own team with the Houston Rockets, you don't know which Harden is gonna show up in the playoffs. You're gonna get MVP Harden, or you're gonna get the choking Harden. He's gonna outshoot the. He's gonna just outshoot everyone, but not gonna make anything. So I mean, that's why I think that's one of the reasons. Well, two of the reasons: the free throws and the foul
Yeah.
baiting. I mean, the NBA even hated it so much that they changed the rules, right? So
Yeah.
Yeah. That's true.
yeah, so that free throw merchant thing, and just playoff choking. So yeah,
Yeah.
I mean,
Okay, so
there's
yeah.
some time for Luka haters to pop up as well. So
Yeah,
we
and one
can
is
we
about
can
to
count
pop
those
up
with.
right now.
Yeah. Oh,
One is about to pop up right now. I mean, I'm not really a Luca hater. It's just because of I'm a Suns fan. Okay, I'm a Suns fan,
oh,
guys. So
oh.
the animosity between the
You're free.
Suns and the Dallas Mavericks. Okay,
Yeah.
the rivalry.
Uh,
Okay, so I'll give you guys that.
they
The
hate
lack of
they hate
success.
they hate their daddy.
Okay, so I'll give you guys that. Harden's lack of success. I agree with you. And Harden being a free throw merchant. I'll give you guys that.
Yeah.
I agree with you totally, 100%. But I'm saying is I hate uh, I hate those things about James Harden, but that doesn't mean I love Luca. The
Well,
thing
yeah.
I don't like about Luca is, oh my gosh, it's annoying when you see him and he gets in like very tight contact and he flops and he keeps on complaining to the refs.
Oh,
He's not
that's one.
like, get
That is
back on
one.
defense.
That is one, man.
Backpedal, bro.
I agree with that.
Backpedal, bro. Defense. Booker's gonna go on a jump shot, man. You want to stop
Yeah.
him? Cause
Stop complaining. Yeah.
it's annoying.
Yeah. It is
It's
annoying.
it's very
I agree
annoying
with that.
to watch him play because every time he gets contact, he tries to draw a foul, and it's not a foul. And when he doesn't get a foul, he complains to the ref like he's a crybaby, like, "Ooh," and he trash talks like, and he taunts players like, oh, he does that. Like, bro, you're complaining to the ref about a non-contact, like you initiated the contact.
Mhm.
So I just don't like that about him.
Oh yeah. I
So
don't like that too. Yeah.
I'm not taking sides because I hate both of them. Okay, equally, and
Nice.
also
Nice.
the lack of success. I know he's young.
Oh yeah. Yes. Yeah.
But
Yeah.
with the ceiling that the NBA, the fans, the teams have put for Luca, he should be in his like first finals appearance, in like the past two seasons, right? I'm just saying because play analysts has they've been calling him Luka Magic, Luka the Boy Wonder, and the next
The boy wonder.
generation.
I never heard of
I
this.
You never
The
heard of
boy
this?
wonder.
Yeah, I think I heard one analyst call him the Boy Wonder or
The
whatever.
boy
I
wonder.
think
Yeah,
that's his
yeah.
Okay.
I think
nickname. That his nickname back when he was in Madrid, Real Madrid,
Ah,
before
okay.
the NBA. So he was the Boy
Okay.
Wonder. So Luka Magic, Boy Wonder, and it's just uh seeing him do all this stuff, and he's got great teammates. I'm not saying his teammates are trash. They're NBA players. They're able to do things that other basketball players aren't capable of doing.
well,
Okay?
uh, they it's the Mavs front office fault. I
Yeah,
mean,
it's
yeah.
their fault. So, and he's doing everything, and watching him play is just ISO ball, dribble, dribble, dribble between the legs. Just like Charles Barkley said, dribble, 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 step back three. That's his play
Yeah.
style, and it's similar to Harden. And it's not fun to watch. There's no, and when the ball isn't in his hands, he just stands there and just waits. He rests like there's no system that he follows, which is ruining basketball for me actually. So it's hard to like Luca. I mean, no, it's not hard to like Luca because he's done great things. The
Yeah.
whip passes that he's done, the records that he's done. His 60-point triple double against the Knicks, that was great. But his flaws are very obvious to me. So it ruins the vibe of like watching because when I'm watching the Suns play him, in the playoffs.
Oh,
The
he's
Suns,
heated.
yeah. The Suns, when they have their offense, their offense ready, they have off ball movements, they have screens, like they have two off ball screens for Booker. He'll kind of, I don't know, snake the defense or whatever, and cast the ball mid range. He has options: either shoot the mid range or drop the ball to Aiton, which I don't like, or kick it back to the corner. So he has options, and most of the times he also facilitates, and he's improved as a defender. I don't know, maybe it's just the Suns fan in me talking, but and then when you go
Probably.
back to
Half.
the other side of the ball, it's just Luca and Tyler the key, and the others are on both corners. They're waiting for something, and then they find the weak link. They bring him to Luca with a pick. They switch, and then ISO, and then shoot, and then they pray that it goes in.
And then they
So
pray.
yeah, I think that's what they do. I think um, it ruined basketball really, and it's annoying. So I don't know. I I don't favor the other, or I don't favor one or the other. So
Yeah.
I think they're both great, but they've ruined basketball. The two of them.
Mm.
Yeah.
He hates
So
Luka
there you
more.
have it. I think so.
Yeah.
Was it obvious?
Well, a little bit.
Yeah, a little bit.
A little bit. Okay, so episode 5 has been a blast, and it's been great talking basketball with you guys.
As
Epic
always,
fun.
man.
You guys got
Yeah.
anything going that you want to share? Want to plug to the listeners, the viewers?
Go ahead. I don't have anything.
Yeah, well, I already plugged it last time, so you could just check out that other video. I don't need to
Yeah.
repeat myself.
Anyways, episode 5 of the Jersey Shorts podcast. Hopefully, next episode 6, will be complete.
Yeah,
Four.
man. I really
Yep,
miss
the
all
Yeah.
four
four.
of us, man, to be
Yeah,
honest.
yeah, that would be great.
Four
F4,
horsemen.
Yeah, the
four
four
horsemen
horsemen.
of
We're gonna go
basketball.
this.
Ooh, impressive.
Yeah.
All
Of
right.
podcasting, if anything.
Of podcasting, because I
Yeah.
can't run anymore. I walked today and I was sweaty and I was catching my breath.
Dude, I'm sitting
Anyway.
and I'm sweaty.
Okay.
Damn.
Philippines.
Damn. Philippines.
Yeah.
Episode 5. See y'all on the next one. Peace.